Hey Skoolie Scouts! Today is definitely going to be a change of pace because we don't have any mystery to solve. We're actually not even doing any driving. Today, I'm going to make an awning for the bus. This is part of a design that's expandable and customizable, but in this video, we're just going to focus on the basic version. And I'm going to take you along step by step. In a future video, I am going to show you a version that you can customize the heck out of. Wait, why did you beat me? I said heck. Customize the heck. Customize the heck out of.
Maximalist minibus with Mary and Captain and you. Get on the bus!
So why make an awning? There are a lot of awnings that you can just buy, right? Cost is one reason. You can make this awning for anywhere from $30 to a couple $100 depending on how you execute it, what materials you use. But there are other reasons besides price. I wanted something compact that could be stored easily and was super easy to set up. Also, I wanted something cute. Then I found this channel. She's electric. Her name is Shera. I'm going to link her channel in the description because she's got some great stuff on there. And one of the things she has is this great awning that she made for a little vintage trailer she restored. And she made it out of PVC, a tablecloth, and 2 flagpole holders. And it's really cute. It wasn't exactly right for me because, for one thing, her trailer already had a railing on it that for this to attach to. And there was already parts of an old awning that she was able to use. I don't have that. So I stole a few things. Sorry, Shera. And adapted those into my design. And then I tried to make one. And I shot some video, but you never saw it because it failed miserably. So if you're watching this, that means this version worked. I think it's a pretty good design. On this table, I've got the things you're going to need to make this awning. And first you need an awning top. I got this fabric, but you can use anything. You can use an old tarp that you got at Harbor Freight 10 years ago. Whatever you want, you know. And you could, if you have an old Easy Up that broke or something and you just want to use the top from that, you can. And here are the poles. I'm using these fancy expandable poles. You could totally do this with PVC or conduit, but just remember that some PVC is really expensive, so if you're doing it to save money, make sure you really are. And also just make sure that whatever you're getting is heavy enough, sturdy enough to support whatever the awning top you're using is. In fact, that's exactly what I did to screw it up in version 1.0, you know, the one that didn't work. I made my awning really heavy, and the combination of super light poles and a super heavy awning is not a good combination. With PVC, you're not going to have the same flexibility that you would have with some kind of a telescoping pole. But if you work out what angle you want to use and you get a piece that's the right length, then you're going to be fine. You're going to need 2 of these adjustable flagpole holders. You want them to be adjustable so that you can play with different angles. These holders can only handle a 1-inch pole, so if you're using poles as fat as the ones I'm using, you're going to have to modify them, and that's where this piece of PVC will come in. This is called Ketter Rope. I used to say Keter, but I think they say Ketter. So Ketter Rope, and it comes from the sailboat world. It's basically rope that has a solid, hard core and comes down to a flap, okay? And this slides into a track and provides a really watertight seal. They use it on boats where you might use a zipper. It's easier for a zipper to either rust or let moisture in. It only has one failure point, as opposed to a zipper, every single tooth is basically a failure point. This basically attaches to your awning fabric and then it slides into a track. In my case, the track is already on the bus because I put it there when I made my last attempt. There are several different kinds of Ketter Rail. This one is PVC and it's called a flanged PVC Ketter Rail because it has that flange above it, which is what I've used to screw it into the bus. And I know some people don't like to put screws in their vehicles. You could probably put this up with construction cement. I would feel a little shaky about that, but I think it can be done. A Ketter system is a really great economical option, but you have to make sure that you buy it from a sail-making place like Sailrite or Clear Marine Vinyl, you know, just someplace, a marine store. I'll put links in the description to both of those. You definitely do not want, okay, come here, listen to me. Take me seriously. Do not try to buy this from an RV store. You're gonna get ripped off, okay? RV dealers, if you go on, I just saw on Amazon, an RV accessory place was like, you know, feeding Amazon like everything does, and they had this stuff, and they're calling it awning rail, okay, but it's the same exact thing. Awning rail, Ketter Rail, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. They had 12 feet, priced at $118. Okay, I have 12 feet on that bus. I paid $23.99. It's just more evidence of how the RV dealers are just sitting there waiting for you to come in so they can rob you. You're going to need grommets unless you're using a tarp that has grommets already built into it or something like that. This is tarp tape, okay? I call it tarp tape. It says awning repair tape on the package. And I had to buy it because I was in a hurry, but it's another one of those RV ripoff. Not everybody's going to need the tarp tape. The tarp tape is an option for people who are like full-timing and don't have access to a sewing machine. It's a way for you to put it together without having to sew. And I would do just about anything to avoid sewing myself, but you do, once you get somewhere where you can stitch it, you do want to stitch it because it's definitely going to be stronger that way. But you can put it together and it can work with the tarp tape. That brings us to the 2.0 version of this project, because yeah, I had another failure. I had a version that I made entirely with tarp tape, because like I said, I do anything to get out of sewing. And the problem is that I put the tape over the rope, and that rope is designed to slide really easily. It'll work fine as long as you don't put the tape on the rounded rope part. Just use it to attach the fabric or the tarp or whatever. I bought 3 yards of fabric. The fabric is $9 a yard, so that's what, $27, and 3 yards is 9 feet. So I've got a 9-foot long awning. It's 54 inches wide. So a lot of you are going to want a wider awning than that, but this is good for me because I just want something that's going to put a little bit of shade on the side of the bus that I can sit under, and that will keep sun off the windows. But again, it's going to be expandable when you see the whole system. So right now I'm going to go borrow my sister's sewing machine, which is the scariest part for me because, yeah, I don't sew. The last thing I sewed was an apron in 7th grade home ec class. I don't have a sewing machine. I don't really touch sewing machines, so this is going to be interesting. I'll spare you the sewing adventure, but the bottom line is, I did it. I sewed it. Look at that. I didn't say I sewed it well. I just said I sewed it. Yeah, it looks crappy, but hey, it's 9 feet long, and I sewed it. I think this project proves that I'm like a warts and all person. You know, some YouTubers are going to show you the sanitized version of their life. Well, there's no sanitizing this. The sides I haven't done anything with. I'm going to put trim on both the sides and the front eventually, so I'm not going to worry too much about the sides. The front I had to do because this webbing is meant to act, there's a little bit of a pocket in there. It's meant to act as a pocket for a pole to go across the front. I may have made that hole too small for the pocket. We'll find out. And then of course at the top, that Ketter rope is sewn right to the fabric. I used fusing tape, which is a heat-activated hemming tape, basically. So I hemmed the fabric and then used the same fusible tape to attach it to the Ketter rope, and then I stitched on top of that. And here it is. It slid in there pretty easily and all the way across, and now it's hanging on the bus. I've got one of my holders down here on this side of the door, and now I have to install the other holder over here so that I can put the awning up. And the way this is set up, I can lift it up over the door to open the door and secure it, so I can use this with the door shut or with the door open, which was my goal. You probably noticed that this got a little bigger. I cut the PVC into a 12-inch piece, and it fits very tightly over the flagpole holder. Just tried to put the pole in, and it turns out my webbing pocket is, yeah, it's too small, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out. Well, I think this pole is just gonna turn out to be too bendy. No matter how I configure it, it just seems to bow in the middle, so I'm just gonna have to come up with a different plan. It took a trip to the Mecca of all projects to sort this out, and I ended up with 2 pieces of 3/4 inch conduit and a coupler. I was hoping not to go with conduit, mainly because I was imagining carrying around a 9-foot long piece of it, but with the 2 shorter pieces and the coupler, it's pretty doable. It should fit fine in the closet. The conduit is held on with Velcro straps through grommets right now, and you can see there's still a little bit of bowing, but once I make a new pocket to run it through, that's going to be gone. Of course, that requires some sewing, and I just can't handle that right now. Here's a list of my expenses for the project. I'm on the higher end of what this could cost. I'm going to put in the description a breakdown of the lowest cost estimate I can come up with.
A patch of sunlight on the forest floor, a hint of blue after the long downpour. When the night seems lonely when my doubt seems closer. I'm reminded that no matter how far, the light's still at the end of the tunnel. It's closer when you put one foot in front of the other. Before you know it, you're free.
I'm really excited about the modular expandable awning system that I'm working on that riffs off of the one we just made, but there's some bugs I have to work out first, so I'm not really sure when the video is going to post. So the best way to find out about it is make sure you're subscribed and that you hit the bell, and then you'll be notified when it posts. Then you'll be able to click here and see the video. I can't wait to show it to you. Well, I'm going to have to wait, I guess.